Jake Paul finally faced the ultimate test of his boxing career when he stepped into the ring with the legendary Mike Tyson. For years, Paul had carefully built his reputation by taking on a series of calculated opponents, mostly older fighters past their prime or inexperienced boxers with little to no professional pedigree. This strategy helped Paul craft an undefeated record, bolster his image as a formidable contender, and draw millions of fans eager to see his next challenge. However, when the announcement came that Paul would face Iron Mike Tyson, everything changed. The fight was met with equal parts excitement and skepticism. Tyson, now 58 years old, had long retired from the professional boxing scene, but his legacy as one of the most feared heavyweights in history remained intact. The prospect of Tyson stepping back into the ring, even at his advanced age, captured the imagination of fight fans worldwide. Paul, on the other hand, saw Tyson as another opportunity to prove his critics wrong. The YouTuber-turned-boxer exuded his usual confidence, but as the fight drew closer, doubts began to surface about whether Paul had bitten off more than he could chew. From the opening bell, it was clear this fight was unlike any of Paul's previous bouts. Tyson's reputation as the baddest man on the planet wasn't just built on his physical strength, but on his tactical brilliance, ring IQ, and ferocious aggression. Even after decades away from competitive boxing, Tyson's training leading up to the fight had been rigorous, and he entered the ring looking sharp, focused, and ready to prove a point. Paul came out aggressively, attempting to establish his jab and control the distance. He had been told by his camp that Tyson's age and long hiatus would work in his favor, allowing him to use his youth and energy to outbox the former champion. However, Tyson quickly exposed the flaws in Paul's game plan. With his signature peekaboo style, Tyson bobbed and weaved through Paul's punches, cutting angles with surgical precision. Every time Paul threw a shot, Tyson seemed to be one step ahead, slipping the punch and closing the distance. The younger fighter soon found himself backed into a corner, with Tyson pressing forward relentlessly. Tyson's strategy was clear: attack the body early to break down Paul's defense. Each punch landed with a thudding impact, targeting Paul's ribs and liver with devastating accuracy. These were not the cautious jabs of an aging veteran, but the calculated, punishing blows of a seasoned warrior. Paul, who had likely expected Tyson to be slower and less aggressive, was visibly shaken. His confidence began to waver as he realized the magnitude of the challenge before him. The crowd, initially split between skeptics and loyal fans, quickly shifted their energy. Every move Tyson made electrified the arena. His footwork was masterful, cutting off the ring and leaving Paul with little room to maneuver. Paul's attempts to create distance were met with sharp counters from Tyson, who expertly closed the gap with hooks and uppercuts. It was a masterclass in ring control, and Paul was being schooled by one of the greatest to ever do it. The fight reached its turning point midway through the first round. After a series of punishing body shots, Tyson found an opening and unleashed a perfectly timed right hook. The punch connected flush with Paul's jaw, snapping his head back and sending him staggering across the ring. The crowd erupted as Paul, clearly dazed, tried to regain his footing. Tyson, sensing blood, moved in for the kill. With the precision of a predator, he delivered a brutal combination, a left hook to the body followed by a devastating right uppercut to the chin. Paul crumpled to the canvas, his aura of invincibility shattered. The referee quickly stepped in, waving off the fight before Tyson could deliver any more punishment. In less than 2 minutes, Paul had gone from the brash, confident social media star to a humbled fighter lying on the mat. The fight was over, and Tyson had reminded the world why his name still carries weight in the boxing community. In the immediate aftermath, the reactions of both fighters were telling. Tyson, ever the professional, returned to his corner with a calm and composed demeanor. There was no excessive celebration or grandstanding, just the quiet confidence of a man who had done his job. For Tyson, this wasn't about proving something to the world, it was about reaffirming his own identity as a fighter. Despite the passage of time, he had shown that his skills, instincts, and power remained intact. Paul, on the other hand, was left to grapple with the reality of his defeat. His carefully constructed image as an invincible disruptor had been dismantled in less than 2 minutes. The knockout was a humbling experience, exposing the limitations of his boxing abilities and the dangers of underestimating a true legend of the sport. For Paul, this fight wasn't just a loss, it was a wake-up call about the level of dedication, discipline, and respect required to compete at the highest level. The fight had broader implications for the sport of boxing as well. Tyson's victory was a celebration of the sport's rich history, a reminder that true greatness is not something that can be manufactured or marketed. It is earned through years of hard work, sacrifice, and a deep understanding of the craft. Tyson's performance highlighted the enduring power of experience and skill, qualities that can't be replaced by social media hype or spectacle. For Paul, the road ahead is now filled with uncertainty. The loss to Tyson could mark a turning point in his career. If he is serious about continuing in the sport, he will need to take on more legitimate opponents and prove that he can compete at a higher level. The days of cherry-picking fights to pad his record are likely over. Paul must now decide whether he is willing to fully dedicate himself to the sport or if his foray into boxing was merely a passing phase. In the days following the fight, analysts and fans alike reflected on the significance of the event. Some praised Paul for stepping into the ring with a legend, while others criticized him for underestimating the challenge. Tyson, meanwhile, received widespread acclaim for his performance. At 58, he had defied expectations, delivering a display of skill and power that many thought was long gone. The fight also served as a reminder of boxing's unique ability to bring together different eras and audiences. It was a clash of worlds, the old guard versus the new, the traditional boxing purist against the modern social media star. In many ways, the bout symbolized the ongoing tension within the sport as it navigates the balance between preserving its legacy and embracing new forms of entertainment. Looking back, the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson will likely be remembered as a pivotal moment in both their careers. For Tyson, it was a triumphant return to the ring, a chance to show that his legacy remains untarnished. For Paul, it was a humbling experience that exposed the limits of his abilities and forced him to confront the reality of the sport he had chosen to enter. In the end, the fight was more than just a spectacle, it was a statement about the enduring truths of boxing. The sport, with its rich history and deep traditions, demands respect and dedication from all who enter its ring. Tyson's knockout victory was a testament to the timeless values of skill, experience, and resilience. For Paul, it was a harsh lesson about the difference between hype and substance, a reminder that in boxing there are no shortcuts to greatness. As the boxing world moves forward, the impact of this fight will continue to be felt. It was a clash of eras, a meeting between the old and the new, and a moment that highlighted both the challenges and the beauty of the sport. Tyson's victory and Paul's defeat will serve as a benchmark for future fighters, a reminder of what it takes to succeed in one of the most demanding arenas in the world. For fans and fighters alike, the bout between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul was a moment of truth, a celebration of boxing's past, and a cautionary tale for its future.